Hello viewers and welcome back to the Elite Karting Series here at Daytona Milton Keynes, where Split 1 are getting ready to get underway for their first race of the day. This is a very competitive grid, and qualifying was very competitive as well. We can take a look at your grid. Karlis Elmanis set a supersonic lap time to go on pole position, 4/10 of a second ahead of Balasaitis, with Tiley-Gooden and Olly Smith only 6/10 and 5/10 back respectively on row 2. James King returns to the series in 5th position, with Daniel Varlan just behind him in 6th. Archie Bullard and Jack Simmons are two drivers that will be hoping to find their way back up the field throughout this race on row 4. Row 5 is made up of Lewis Jolly and Chris Phillips, two very consistent drivers in this series, with Adrian Pref Sorozzo in 11th, alongside debutant Julia Stankovic in 12th. Ashley Mason-King is 13th, with Louis Draper alongside him on row 7. Ross Sandwell and Brad Whitehouse, two drivers inside of Split 1 in race 1 for the first time. They are on row 8. Row 9 finally made up of Alex Agnanastopoulos and finally Callum Bendlow, who was not able to get a qualifying lap together. Here we go then, first Split 1 race of the day in the soaking wet conditions here at Daytona Milton Keynes. It is Karlis Elmanis on pole position, emphatic qualifying from him, rolling around turn 11 now, waiting for the lights, and it is lights out and away we go. And it's a good start for Balasaitis on the outside line. Karlis going to try and squeeze through into turn 1, but that outside line just a little bit more grippy, and Balasaitis holds the lead into the first corner. Jack Simmons in a bit of a scrimmage with Archie Bullard, who's trying to make up some positions into the first few corners. He gets by the 108 car of Daniel Varlan as well. Now down into turn 4 the field goes. Jack Simmons gains a position. Karlis Elmanis gets the lead of the race back on the outside line as they head through turn 5. That's a brave move from Karlis Elmanis. Meanwhile, further back, Tiley-Gooden, just a little look at Olly Smith, who's got a spinner in the background. Not sure who that was.
That's Julia Stankovic there, just spun. She was on the inside line going through turn 5, the slipperier part of the circuit, and round she went. So she had a good start to that race, was up in 12th place, but she's now dropped down the order. You can see from Louis Draper's on board at the moment, it's a bit battling further down the field. It's Chris Phillips on the outside of Adrian Pref as they go through turn 7. Can Louis get the run on the outside? No, he can't, but Chris does hold on to that position. So it's Karlis Elmanis now in the lead of the race, got the whole shot at the start, and he's ahead now of Balasaitis. Tiley-Gooden's now made his way past Olly Smith as well whilst that was going on. So Tiley-Gooden's got back up to P3, having started there on the grid, back ahead of Olly Smith, and then I believe it is James King, I think, in 5th place.
10 minutes to go in the race as we approach the end of this first lap, and Karlis Elmanis has the lead pretty surely after a very intelligent first lap. Further behind, plenty of battling going on. Lewis Jolly, one of them, he's caught up in a bit of a battle. Look to the outside here into turn 10, but not really able to find a way through there, and again just avoiding that apex where it's so wet. All the drivers having heaps of issues. Louis Draper further back has got Adrian Pref Sorozzo just ahead of him. He's trying to make a way through. Will take a bit of a tighter line through the final corner, but Adrian just on that outside line, able to get the power down a little bit better. Let's look at Tiley-Gooden as well. He's in 3rd position at the moment. Balasaitis just ahead of him. Karlis Elmanis in the lead, of course, but Jamie's certainly at his home circuit, a circuit where he's won plenty of SuperChamps championships. He's trying to at least get himself into the top 3 like he did last time we were here. Meanwhile, as we look at Lewis Jolly, he's got 2 karts just ahead of him, and well, Ashley Mason-King and Jack Simmons, those 2 drivers. We'll see if he can do anything there.
Yeah, that's Ashley Mason-King now at the inside of Jack Simmons as they head down into turn number 6, but Jack Simmons got the cover there. He saw it coming and got the undercut coming out of the corner. Meanwhile, Tiley-Gooden, he was just side by side briefly there with Balasaitis in the battle for 2nd position going through turn number 7. Tiley-Gooden tried to get the cutback, tried to get the inside line, couldn't get the driver out of the corner though. And Balasaitis has held on for the time being. So Dom making his series return, last race with us back at round 1 at the start of this year, as his best friend Tiley-Gooden goes to the inside into the mushroom chicane. That's very tricky to make that work, but I think he's managed to do it. That was a good move there. Tiley-Gooden gets very narrow through the second part of that bust off chicane, but he is through. So our championship leader in the junior class is now up into 2nd position, and the only driver in front of him is our championship leader in the senior class, Karlis Elmanis, who has checked out at the front.
Oh, it's a bit of a squabble, as you can see on the drone, into turn at number 10. A couple of drivers getting tangled with each other. Everyone squeezes through just about okay, though. Did see some yellow flags as well. I think one was turn 5, turn 4 even, very briefly, so hopefully that's fixed by the time we get there. Karlis Elmanis in the lead. Looking at Louis Draper, he's still got Adrian Professoroso for company. Ross Sandwell with a fantastic view of this in split 1 for the first time. Wasn't quite able to get promotion last time out. This time is started in split 1 and doing a pretty good job for his troubles as well. But right now is just embroiled in watching this battle with Louis Draper. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, where Olly Smith is just about caught up as we've got a spin him, and it's Louis Draper, and oh my word, he's gone round into turn 4. I think that was. I didn't quite see what happened, Luke, if you can elaborate.
Yeah, just lost it there on the brakes, going into the hairpin left turn 4, spun it round. Unfortunately, Ross Sandwell got tangled up in that too, so it's unlucky there for Louis Draper. He was keeping right on the back of Adrian Parov in the battle for 12th position. Unfortunately, not able to make it stick there. We also just quickly saw the drone shot there on the previous lap. That was the battle for 5th between James King and Archie Bullard. So Archie Bullard went up the inside of James King as they went into turn number 10, but it wasn't James who held on around the outside. Both kind of went off the track a little bit as they went in deep. But it's Karlis Elmanis then at the lead of the race. He's pulled his lead now out to 3 seconds ahead of Jamie Tiley-Gooden. He put it on pole by over 4/10 for this race, and he's now pulled out at the front as well. So Karlis Elmanis really showing his speciality in the wet hair. Also, just a little shout out to Ashley Mason King. He started in 13th place on the grid, first time racing in the series days of regular here at Milton Keynes in their SuperChamps. He's doing a really good job here, carving through the field. He's up to 8th place at the moment. He's racing as a heavyweight driver as well at 96 kilos, so he's one of our heaviest drivers on the grid, and he's putting his weight to good use to carve through the field here.
7 minutes to go in this race, and Karlis Elmanis very comfortable at the top of the field, but Jamie Tiley-Gooden has actually taken a chunk out of him on that previous lap. It was 3 seconds the gap, it's now 1.5, so Jamie Tiley-Gooden really putting in some good lap times. He's just looked over his shoulder, but I don't think he needs to. I think very much so. He's got Don Balasaitis in the rears at the moment, and Olly Smith has actually lost a position to James King on the previous lap. We didn't quite get pictures of that, but James King has moved up into 4th position. So Olly, who was looking for the podium, has now had to just kind of relax a little bit and sit in that 5th position, try and get a way forward maybe later on. Karlis Elmanis being chased down by Jamie Tiley-Gooden at this stage in the race. Jamie making his way through cliff drop now. That's a little downhill chicane. Then he'll go through Grand Prix turn 8, and I think visually looks like Karlis has eked out that gap a little bit more in the first half of this lap.
Yeah, putting in a great job, I say, Karlis Elmanis in this race. He is a wet weather specialist in these DMAX cars. He's always been someone you can call on in these kinds of conditions. Also got James King, like you say, he got through now on Olly Smith out of shot. He's into 4th place. He's also making his series debut today. Both him and his brother, Ashley Mason King, have raced before with us in our group tuitions, but this is their first time racing with us in the championship. It's just seen Archie Bullard there. He's just gone very deep going into turn number 10 as he's trying to hunt down Olly Smith, trying to get 5th place off him. Went in very deep, went off the track, managed to keep back on the track though and not lose too much time.
So there goes Louis Draper down the inside of Adrian Professoroso. He just saw that on the drone. They're going to stay side by side here as they go down into turn 11, and Adrian just about got back to the inside line. Now Louis going to do the cutback, and I think going to do a successful cutback here. No, he's not, because that outside line just has a little bit more grip, a little bit more speed for Adrian Professoroso. They've been so close together in this race, but Adrian at the moment holding on for 12th.
Yeah, good spot there. Good move that was by Louis, not able to get the traction, like you say, coming out of that final goal. I was just saying Ashley Mason King has got through, and Daniel Varden on that previous lap out of shot, and he's now up into 7th place and hunting down Archie Bullard, the 3-time Daytona Milton Keynes DMAX SuperChamps champion.
2.1 seconds at the front of the field, by the way. So Karlis Elmanis was caught and then has started eking out the gap again to Jamie Tiley-Gooden, who's in full push mode at this point with 4 minutes to go in the race. Obviously the drivers will be aware of how long's left, so Jamie will be pushing just that little bit more hard now to try and get himself anywhere close to where Karlis Elmanis is sat at the top of the field. He's really done a good job of keeping Don Balasaitis in check, as well as Olly Smith continues to be under pressure from Archie Bullard. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on Don Balasaitis as well. He makes his way into turn 10. Looks like he's actually caught up a little bit to Jamie Tiley-Gooden on this lap. I want to say only a little bit. They're very evenly matched.
Yeah, these two very equal, like we saw earlier in the race. Jamie Tiley got through and they managed to maintain the gap recently. Now Louis Draper, he's still trying to get past on Adrian Parafi, now up the inside into turn number 9. Shouldn't be more grip on the inside, but I think he's managed to make that work. As head down to turn number 10, is Adrian going to reappear? No, he is not. What a move that was by Louis Draper on the slipperier part of the track. He is through. Meanwhile, Ashley Mason King out of shot. Unfortunately, his GoPro's not working for this race. He has got through on both Archie Bullard and Olly Smith on that previous lap. So Ashley Mason King, who started 13th on the grid, encountered a yellow flag on his quali lap. He is absolutely flying through the field, and what a drive this is from a heavyweight driver as well. We've never seen a heavyweight driver this far up the field in the EKS World, except from Mark Puxty at Bottle Park earlier this year. This is a fantastic drive by Ashley Mason King, and he's setting his sights now on his brother James King up ahead, and the two junior drivers of Don Balasaitis and Joe Tiley-Gooden.
Absolutely, 3 minutes still to go in the race, and Olly Smith is still all over the back. But actually, who's now overtaken him in the last lap or so. Don Balasaitis all the way up to the back of Jamie Tiley-Gooden as well. So Jamie's had a bit of a fall off in the last lap or so, but Dom's still got a little bit of time to make up. They make their way through the bus stop chicane, and now Jamie just gets such a better exit. Dom's leaning into the steering wheel. That tells you all you need to know at this point in the race. Jamie through 9. Very quick indeed, and whilst I think Karlis Elmanis probably has this race in hand with probably about 2 laps to go in it, the battle certainly then is going to be for this second position, Luke.
Yeah, Karlis Elmanis, remember, he is a SuperChamps champion in his own right at Sandown Park, won the championship last year in season 2, so yeah, very good driver himself in DMAX karts. He's got behind him Jamie Tiley-Gooden, who's a DMAX SuperChamps champion here at Milton Keynes last year as well. Don Balasaitis is a former champion here at Milton Keynes in their junior karts as well. So we've got a whole series of Daytona champions up at the sharp end of this race. James King as well, like you say, regularly here alongside his brother. Very quick drivers, do all the races going down here, all the championships and all the endurance races too. Just see a quick yellow flag there. I think that's for Alexandros Agnostopoulos. I know he's struggling in this race with these conditions. He's going around towards the back of the field, so that's why you might see a couple of yellow flags we're hearing. But yeah, great driver at the moment from Karlis Elmanis, and as we can see, Don Balasaitis has caught right up to the back of Jamie Tiley-Gooden.
Absolutely has, and this is going to be a bit of an interesting scrap between the two rivals, really, around in Milton Keynes SuperChamps over the last few seasons and last few years, actually. Let's see what happens between these two. As I said, both know this track very well, both know this circuit, this layout of the circuit, I should say, very well, that's for sure. And Dom just makes a bit of a mistake, goes deep into 8, and then they cut back through into this bus stop section, and Jamie Tiley-Gooden, with a bit of a clip of the barrier there on the right hand side, might just find himself under pressure. Will follow them down the railway straight as they make their way into turn 9 from what I believe is potentially going to be the penultimate lap of the race here. We'll wait and see whether there's going to be a checkered flag at the end of this one. If so, then Don Balasaitis is going to be very close for sure. They make their way out of the final corner. There goes Don Balasaitis down the inside line, dive bombs Jamie Tiley-Gooden, takes the position, and it is the checkered flag. It's Karlis Elmanis who wins, but Jamie Tiley-Gooden on the cutback is able to squeeze on through, and there's a fist bump between the two of them. Fantastic racing. Jack Simmons trying to make up a position at the end, but to no avail. So your top 3, Karlis Elmanis, Jamie Tiley-Gooden and Don Balasaitis.
Karlis Elmanis ended up taking a dominant victory then in that race, winning by over 4 seconds in the end ahead of Jamie Tiley-Gooden. Jamie came home as the top junior driver in that race, so won the race as such as a junior ahead of his best friend Don Balasaitis. The King brothers, James King and Ashley Mason King, ended up finishing in 4th and 5th place. Ashley Mason King put in a stunning drive in that race, going from 13th on the grid to 5th place at the finish line, only 1.2 seconds behind his brother. Olly Smith struggles in these kinds of conditions in these karts, but did well to finish in P6 ahead of Archie Bullard, who was just less than a 10th behind Ollie at the finish line, with Daniel Violin coming home in an impressive P8 ahead of Jack Simmons, with Lewis Jolly then rounding out the top 10. Louis Draper ended up putting a gap on Adrian Perez as he finished in P11 with Adrian in 12th. Chris Phillips ended up in 13th ahead of Ross Samuel. Ross Samuel making his debut today here in Split 1, and Julia Stankowiak recovered to P15 after a spin on lap 1. Brad Whitehouse ended up in 16th place, whilst Alexandros Agnostopoulos had a race to forget down in 17th place, and Callum Mendelow was not able to take part. We can now head down to the pit lane where we're joined by our 2 winners, Karlis Elmanis and Jamie Tiley-Gooden.
We're here with Karlis Elmanis after a commanding race victory in Split 1. How was that race?
Just stayed on the track, really. Just knuckle down. still was quite cautious that youngsters might be coming after me. Try to keep the gap and just knuckle down, stay on the track. I think that's really the key in these sort of conditions, not make ambitious mistakes in some corners, which cost dearly. Picking up speed after you spun is it's near impossible. So stay on the track.
Well, staying on track is most of it in these mixed conditions. So are you looking forward to it drying or?
No, no. Tricky, wet. That's my ambition. Just stay away from youngsters. So a little bit weight advantage in the damp conditions over youngsters, I guess. But as soon as it starts drying out, they being 10 kilos lighter, they just can close in much easier. So tricky.
And we're here with Jamie Tiley-Gooden after Split 1, Heat 1. A good performance. How was it for you?
It was good. I started third overall. I managed to, being on the inside wasn't great. I lost a position. I gained it back. I managed to get up into P2, which was eventually P1 in class, and I was getting chased down at the end, but I just had enough to keep P1.